What's going on, guys? It's Nikage here, and today we're looking at What If Naruto is Neglected Part 3. I shortened the title because it wouldn't fit in the thumbnail. But yeah, before we get in, please like and subscribe, and also um the dojutsu that Naruto's dojutsu is called Seijujutsu. I mean the Seijugan, sorry. And let's begin. After the battle, the tuning exams, Naruto's pretty tired, and he didn't get the bark of Obito. If anything, he was there way before him, hours even. As he's walking home, he gets a sharp pain in his stomach when he opens the door. It was his mother, Kushima. Naruto, it's all your fault. Naruto, on the ground, would ask, wait, what do you mean? Then she's like, you ruined the tuning exams. You almost got everyone killed. Naruto would ask, what do you mean by that? She's like, when Jinchuriki does it, they all do it. I hate you guys. And Naruto wouldn't know what Jinchuriki is. And then we hear Minato laughing at the background. Wow, I can't believe you're gonna tell him. I mean, I want him to suffer all his life. And then Kushima said, yeah, you have 50% that damn fox is inside you. And I happen to be back with you. 25 for me and 25 for Obito. Is Naruto would hold on to his stomach. I have zero idea what you guys are talking about. And then Minato would say, go upstairs, boy, and pack your bags. We're kicking you out for tonight. And Naruto would run up to his stairs, pack all his bags, and would start crying on his bed, which didn't have a blanket. Naruto would look at his room. There was practically nothing there, not even a blanket on his own bed. Naruto would realize that he should just pack up his clothes and run away from the village because he realized that no one loves him there. As he's running away, he gets to the gates when he's stopped and bumps into Kakashi. Kakashi would ask Naruto what he's doing, and Naruto says that he's leaving the village, and Kakashi would ask why. And then Naruto would say, no one here even loves me and or wants me, I'm just a burden to everybody. And Kakashi says, well, you could just stay at my house if you get kicked out again. And Naruto's like, yeah, but I'm kind of a burden to you too. You always have to take care of me, and I don't think that's fair. As Naruto began to run off, Kakashi would yell at Naruto, Naruto Hatake, stop and come to me now. Naruto would stop dead in his tracks when he heard his last name. Wait, Hatake, but I'm not your son. And Kakashi says, well, I mean, you are my adopted son as effective tomorrow. And Naruto would be confused, but with a smile. What do you mean by that? Kakashi says, well, I mean, that's how adoption works, silly. And Naruto would ask, adoption? But how did... And he said, well, I kind of had to persuade the fourth Hokage, but it almost was no time for him to say that he needs you off his back forever. And Naruto would say, so I'm a burden to him too, huh? And you. I'm sorry I forced myself onto you. And Kakashi would say, what do you mean? I'm the one who signed the papers, you dum-dum. Besides, you don't have a wife or kids, so taking care of one would be nice. Naruto would smile, tears running down his face. So you really do mean it, huh? I'm a Hatake? And Kakashi would say, well, I mean, that's what the papers have to say. But I always saw you as a son anyway. Naruto would run to Kakashi and hug him, and bury his whole head into Kakashi's chest as he said, thank you, father. And this would make Kakashi smile and have one tear going down the one eye, specifically the eye that he always covers. After this, he walks him home and says, you probably didn't get dinner, huh, Naruto? And Naruto would say, yeah, I mean, I just came home and then, snap, I had to leave. And Kakashi would say, don't worry, ramen's on the table for you anyway. I let you decorate your own room, but I already had stuff there anyway. But if you want to keep it, you can. If you want to take it out, you can. They get to the house, and they see Naruto's room. When Naruto gets in there, he's really has a giant smile on his face. A bed with blankets and a pillow, and there are two cabinets, one full of ninja tools and one that's empty for his stuff. And Kakashi would go to the dinner table, and Naruto would eat ramen, but with his family for the first time. Naruto and Kakashi would begin to eat ramen, and Kakashi would say, "Alright, even though we have nothing to do tomorrow, I still want you to go to sleep. There's still a curfew. Well, no, I'm not really too strict." Mm. After this, Naruto would smile and say, "Alright," and would head to bed and said, "Good night, father." And Kakashi would have a smile and say, "Good night, Naruto." The next day, Naruto breaks the news to Sasuke, and Sasuke with a smile saying that you did deserve better parents, Naruto. Remember, Sasuke's not evil because the whole Orochimaru thing didn't work out well. And the search for Tsunade would be a bit different because they're not really searching for her to be the Hokage. You might need a different plan for that arc specifically. Anyway, after this, Kakashi would send a bird to gather all Team 7, and they all line up. "Alright, roll call," Kakashi yells. Obito Uzumaki. Obito would say, "Here." Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke would say, "Here." Kakashi with a giant smile on his face, but no one would notice because of the mask. And then he would say, "Naruto Hatake." And Naruto would say, "Here." Obito was the only one that was surprised about the news, and did ask like Naruto what happened. "I thought you were on Uzumaki with us." And Naruto would say, "I have zero idea what you mean. I'm a Hatake and always been one." And then he would start laughing, and then Kakashi would be like, "Quiet, class. Anyway, we have a mission. You see, Orochimaru was spotted at the attack of the Chunin exams, and we really need to get leads. The only lead we have of his location is with Tsunade. So we had to go find her. We were specifically tasked because we happen to be top out of all the teams. So, and they also think that this might replace the tuning exams. If we succeed this mission, that means all three of you guys are going to be tuning." Naruto would smile happily and say, "Finally, a really cool mission. Searching for someone? That's dope." And Sasuke would scoff and say, "You dope." I mean, it might be fun. And Kakashi would say, "Quiet, come on. We need to pay attention. Last time we saw her was a bar, so if we find her drunk, passed out on the street, don't worry. I don't think she was ambushed." And they kind of share a laugh and say, "It seems to me like each time she goes to the bar, it's always 7 p.m. or 10 a.m. So, 7 p.m., we all gather at this name is so hard to pronounce. We all know what the bar. It's literally the only bar in town anyway," Kakashi says. "I don't think I need to state it. Honestly, I don't know what the bar name would have been, so yeah." Naruto would say, "Yeah, the only bar in town, and somehow everybody gets drunk there." And everybody would kind of laugh at that too, and say, "Alright, 7 p.m. I see ya." And then they all dispatch. Naruto and Sasuke are walking down the strip and trying to see some cool masks they could buy. Sasuke would look at the snake mask and say, "That's kind of cool, right?" And Naruto would look at the fox mask and say, "Yeah, that is cool. Oh, I mean, I like foxes anyway, huh?" And Sasuke would say, "You always did have whiskers." And then Sasuke would look at the bird mask and say, "Sometimes I wish I was a bird, so I could be free." And Naruto would kind of break this and say, "Wait, don't birds die at birth sometimes, though? By snakes?" And then Sasuke would remember what happened about the Uzumaki clan and how the whole massacre left him scarred. Naruto would realize that it kind of hurt Sasuke's feelings and say, but birds survive anyway, right? I mean, most of them, not the ones we see. I'm sorry. And Sasuke would say, nah, it's fine. It's not your fault. After this, 7 p.m. rolls around. Naruto and Sasuke were heading to the bar as Obito kept watch with Kakashi. Sasuke would ask the bartender if they knew a lady Tsunade, and the bartender would point to her and ask, are you trying to get her out of here? Every single day she's here, and she drinks almost all night. I mean, yeah, it's getting us business, but it's kind of sad seeing someone like this. And Sasuke would say, in a sense, we're removing her out of the premises, yes. And then the bartender would look at Naruto and say, hold on, you're that fox. Listen, we don't serve pets here, okay? Can you leave? And this would kind of annoy Naruto and say, pets? What do you mean? And say, oh, this young boy ain't your owner, you fox? And then he would even insult him more like, well, if he's not your owner, we also don't allow wild animals in the bar either. And everybody would know it's Naruto. Naruto's kind of getting visibly angry, and Sasuke would tell the bartender to put a quirk in it. And he would look at the whole crowd staring at Naruto and say, if you guys want a piece, you can have him. But I warn you, he's going to kick your ass. And Naruto's pride would go a little bit up as he realized Sasuke is standing up for him. But he wouldn't say anything back. He doesn't really want to start anything. And say, Sasuke, how about we complete our mission? Then we'll kick their ass. And then Sasuke would smile and say, yeah, you said it. They go to Tsunade and they basically ask, hey, are you Lady Tsunade? And she's of course drunk and says, that's what I used to be called. And then she'd look at Naruto and say, hold on, you're that stupid fox. And then she'd put a beer to Naruto's face and say, stupid, stupid, stupid fox. Then throw the beer and say, fetch like the animal you are. And Naruto, visibly annoyed, would grab Tsunade by the collar and start dragging her out of the bar. And pretty much throughout this whole process, she's like, unhand me, do you know who I am? I'm Lady Tsunade. You can't treat one of the legendary Sannin like this. Naruto would scoff and say, yeah, a legendary Sannin shouldn't be drunk, huh? This would shut Tsunade up for a second as they dragged her outside. Naruto and Sasuke would sit her down at a wall and say, look, we're looking for Orochimaru, and he's one of those legendary Sannin like you. You might know his location. We need it. Then Tsunade would be like, what do you Genny need information about him? And then Kakashi shows up and said, well, I mean, this is an S-rank mission, and they really don't want to fail. Oh, and then she'll look up and say, Kakashi, how's Jiraiya been these days? And Kakashi's like, I haven't seen that old geezer in a while. Now, on to you. We need to know where Orochimaru is. And then Tsunade would say, I haven't seen him in forever. Then Orochimaru out of nowhere would summon a snake to attack Sasuke. But Kakashi sees this and uses a Chidori to stop the snake. Orochimaru would say, impressive. Seriously, why are you protecting that boy? And look at Naruto, realizing the hatred that's already emanating from him at a constant rate, and said, yes, that will do perfectly, and shoots the snake at Naruto. He figured no one would try and stop it because he thought no one cared about Naruto. But then a knife pierced through the snake. It was Sasuke's, and said, you don't hurt someone I care about, huh? And then Orochimaru would say, well, no one wants me to have my fun. And then Kakashi would say, well, I guess the mission's over, kids. Now for the real fun. And Sasuke would look at Orochimaru and say, look, you're coming with us. There's no point of running anyway. And Orochimaru would say, well, I wouldn't know unless I try. And summon a bunch of snakes to attack all of them. Naruto and Sasuke at this point would both know the Chidori, and this whole fight is more of them dodging snakes left and right, attacking them sometimes with Chidoris. And Naruto and Sasuke would try the new combo move, the Fire Style Chidori Clash, which basically is when Sasuke would use a fire star for Bujutsu, and as the fireballs approaching Orochimaru, Naruto would run at the same speed as the fireball, and the fireball would fuse with his Chidori, and then hit Orochimaru in the face. And it was one of Naruto's best right hooks that Sasuke's ever seen them, and Orochimaru was sent flying. Obito, realizing that he's doing nothing, goes down there and tries using the Rasengan on Orochimaru, but Orochimaru grabs him by the throat and slams him against the wall. Naruto and Sasuke try the combo again, but Orochimaru kind of blocks it and says, "You can't do the same trick twice, you idiots." Now, about this boy. And Naruto, realizing that he might fail this mission and kind of doesn't want to, would turn on his Seijugan, and he would yell Seijugan, which would increase the fireball and Chidori at the same time, making it even stronger, piercing through Orochimaru's arm. Orochimaru, realizing this, saying, "This boy is dojutsu. It's really interesting." As he licks his lips, Naruto, realizing this, is creeped out and says, "Shut up, you pedophile," and then uppercuts Orochimaru on the jaw. He is sent flying and Obito is set free. Obito thanking Naruto, and Naruto's like, "It's no problem, no issue. As long as you don't bother me, I have no issue with you anyway." And Naruto tells Sasuke, "Are you ready for another attack?" And Sasuke's like, "Yeah, but I haven't perfected the Chidori yet. I'm kind of scared, I guess." I'm like, Naruto would look at Sasuke and like, when did you become a bitch? Just do it. And Sasuke's like, "Oh, you shut up, man. Shut up, man." And they both run the Chidori, making the double Chidori, as they say it, team attack, double Chidori. And then Orochimaru, as he's flying, sees the giant blue energy and is kind of scared it's not an attack that could kill him, but it's gonna hurt, and they pierce it through his stomach. Remember, Sasuke has his Sharingan and Naruto has his Seijugan, so it's gonna be a really strong attack. Orochimaru spits out blood as both Naruto and Sasuke's dominant hand is in Orochimaru's stomach, like straight up piercing through his whole chest. Orochimaru's like, "You haven't got me killed, kids, but damn, I have to admit, that's a good job you got there. Why won't you just work with me? You could do missions like this all the time. You'll be even stronger too. Get your revenge on certain people." Sasuke, hearing this, thinks certain people, thinks of Itachi, but then thinks of Naruto and how they portray Naruto. He refuses and say, "Like would ever join a pedophile like you." Orochimaru kind of offended, saying, "Oh, come on. Is it my fault? I just want to seek the people with most potential. It just happens you guys happen to be 12. Naruto would use his other arm to make his dominant right hand go into Orochimaru even more and say, "You're coming with us. There's no way you're escaping this one." And Orochimaru would say, "Well, that sucks. I'm gonna escape free anyway soon." Then Kabuto jumps out of the shadows and uses his sword to slash at both Naruto and Sasuke, but they dodge it by releasing their arms from Orochimaru's chest. Kakashi says, "Oh, Kabuto, long time no see. You're coming with us too." And Kabuto's like, "Oh, my bad. That's gonna be an issue." And both Naruto and Sasuke prepare a double story again, but both of the dojutsus are running out, so when they use it, they both run out. Before they could hit Kabuto and Orochimaru, they substitution and escape. Naruto punches the ground saying, "Damn it, we failed a really important mission." And Kakashi would calm down Naruto and say, "Don't worry, we got the information we kinda needed. We figured out his location, who he's looking for, who he has, and what he's looking for specifically." And Naruto's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, based off what he said, he's looking for people with most potential, right? Like you and Sasuke. I mean, he's probably looking for other dojutsu users." And then he even puts in more thought into it and says, he's also looking for people who have a bunch of bloodlust like you and Sasuke. Meaning that not only are his two requirements a dojutsu user and people who can manipulate their bloodlust into something that's amazing power, but he also needs people and is willing to manipulate whatever he wants. This also tells us that he doesn't have a huge staff on his disposal right now. And then he even goes further, saying maybe Kabuto is his only right-hand man, and he needs you or Sasuke. I mean, he'll do anything to get either of you. He even goes further, saying that those snakes might be his only way of doing it. And then he's like, we're gonna have to put you and Sasuke in witness protection until we find Orochimaru. But besides that, you guys passed. And Sasuke would scoff and say, you didn't need a long-ass explanation. You could have just simply passed at the beginning. And Kakashi would be like, yeah, but you need to pay attention. These are the type of things you need to look for in missions. Remember that, Naruto. Naruto would ask, wait, why me? Obito did nothing. And Obito would kind of sigh and say, yeah, I did nothing. And Kakashi would be like, well, I mean, it's more of confidence. You need to build that up, Obito. It's really important, like missions like these. And said, well, just because he did nothing in the fight doesn't mean he did nothing in the mission. Remember, our main goal was Lady Tsunade, and it looks like he cut the diner really good. And Obito would be like, oh, I didn't realize Lady Tsunade is right here. And Lady Tsunade would be like, oh, you guys forgot me already. I knew it. I should just go back in that bar, huh? And Kakashi would be like, well, we got to have to put you in witness protection too. And Ladies would be like, wait, why? And then Kakashi would be like, obviously, he's looking for a healer too, and you're one of the top in the whole village and probably the Shinobi world. You're part of the legendary 3 signing for a reason. Duh. And, and Kakashi would slap his hand on his face and say, why am I explaining it to you? You're drunk. You're gonna forget in tomorrow anyway. And say, alright, we just need to display at least 1 or 2 Anbu, but remembering Kabuto's skills, saying, you might even need a whole ass team. Shit. And then Naruto would be like, wait, Anbu, he's that dangerous? And Kakashi would say, oh, no, not him. Kabuto's that dangerous. I remember he took out 3 Anbu by himself. Yeah. And possibly 5, I forgot. And Sasuke would say, well, that's tough business. Anyway, I should probably be getting home. It's getting kind of late, and we succeeded in our mission. And Naruto would be like, wait, doesn't this mean we're tuning? Or getting? Wait. And then Kashi's like, it's tuning, Naruto. And also, yes, you guys, after this day, are tuning. Let me just put this in with the 4th Hokage, and we'll be out. Naruto, Sasuke, and Obito are walking Lady Tsunade to the hospital. And I just like, keep an eye on her, and we'll be back tomorrow to pick her up. And the doctors would instantly recognize this Lady Tsunade, but they even tell her that she's kind of drunk and she needs a place to stay. Then Naruto walks Obito home. And the only reason is because Naruto and Sasuke's house will be past Obito's anyway. And Obito will be like, so you're not part of the Uzumaki anymore? And Naruto's like, what do you mean? I've never been part of the Uzumaki. I'm always a Hatake. Always have been and always will be. And Obito's kind of sad about this and says, so there's no way I can make you ever respect me? And Naruto's like, well, there's no reason why I shouldn't and should respect you. Give me one good reason why I should do either one, and I'll believe either one. See, after Kakashi adopted Naruto, he's picked up a sense of life that is new. He wants to be new and have a new life. In order to do that, he needs a new personality. He doesn't want to lean towards one side or another of hatred, even though the hatred of the fourth Hokage is still there. After they drop Obito off, Naruto and Sasuke have a small talk. So, Hatake. Naruto, Hatake. That really does ring a bell, huh, Naruto? And Naruto be like, yep, music to my ears. And Naruto looks at Sasuke and says, so, about Itachi. And Sasuke kind of stops and says, what about him? And says, well, maybe you'll be able to find him if we follow Orochimaru. But not in the way that you're thinking. And Sasuke's like, what do you mean? It's like, what if we track Orochimaru down and force him to tell us where Itachi is? Then we can actually find him, kill him together, and or you do it yourself, I'm not going to judge, and maybe you'll have your revenge, and your life will be perfect again. I don't know. It's just a thought. And Sasuke will be like, well, at least you're thinking about me. Naruto drops off Sasuke at his house and says, I'm gonna head home, man. And, Sasuke says, I'll see you too. And Naruto walks home and opens the door and sees Kakashi there making ramen, saying to Naruto that he's really proud of what he did today, and now he's a tuning. So I made you special ramen. And Naruto be like, what do you mean special ramen? And he said, well, I went to the ramen place, in the strip, and I asked for literally every single thing on the menu of ramen, and then I put it all into one bowl. They called it the Naruto Hatake Special. Have a taste. And Naruto would taste and say, this is the best ramen I've ever had. Thank you, Dad. And Kakashi's like, oh God, I can get used to hearing that one. And Naruto would laugh and say, you're gonna have to anyway. After this, to take a nice talk about what may be some rules at the house, and Kakashi's like, well, you're gonna have to clean up after yourself. Chores are basically non-existent. I mean, yeah, take out the trash, but only if you absolutely need to, and if you just stumble across it. Dishes aren't a problem because we always use paper stuff here anyway. And just clean your room and you should be good. Naruto would go to bed and say, love you, Dad. And Kakashi at the table would say, love you, Naruto. This is gonna end part 3. I wanted to include the, Itachi going to the hospital thing, but the thing is that Naruto and Sasuke have no reason to be at the hospital, which also kind of means there's no Naruto and Chidori clash, but trust me, part 4 is gonna be even way more interesting than I think. I think you'll like part 4, definitely would like part 4. But I would say that part 4 would end off like the part 1 Naruto, and part 5 would start Shippuden, I think. Since these videos at this point are just gonna cover whole ass arcs, and they're really long. Like this one's gonna be 30 minutes long at the very least. But I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I hope you have a nice day.